You don't need to put as much energy into the stop. It's just it's just a little bit, because if you put too much in there, you're going to hurt your neck, and I've done that a few times.
So, what's great is that you can also follow it with a dead-eye expression, which will sell it better. Instead of trying to trace your eyes back, move them along with it, just kind of stare into the void like you're looking past, like your eyes are dead. And that really sells the illusion if you just want to do like a nice head thing, because then your eyes will just move with your head, and it looks really creepy.
Yes.
You'll notice I'm also getting my blinks, they're a little on average. And that's very subtle. But, those blinks are planted. Like, sure, every once in a while I'll have an actual blink, but, when I close my eyes, or maybe which closes on the other, it doesn't, because your rabbit's a little broken. There's little subtleties that you can add with the face. For us, acting through the makeup is really important. When you're just normal, when you kind of look like a normal person, the subtleties are captured better. Every little twinge in the face. But when you're covered in makeup, especially if you've got some prosthetics, which we don't, but if we did, you have to try even harder. And especially because we're like this small on stage, you really have to like just make every expression really, really, really animated. And I think that really adds to the cartoon nature of the act. Is that we have very expressive faces. That's really creepy photo that you can go by.
Yeah.
It's just, he looks like a cartoon character. And it's crazy.
From people's nightmares.
Yeah. Especially with the spine. I think the spine's makeup is the most effective.
He only has one look, and it's done. It's the done look.
The thing is, yours is really like is a pantomime face paint, because it's so simple. Yeah. You could replace the silver with white, and you'd be a mime.
Pretty much.
And what miming is all about is like the black around the eyes and the eyebrows and the lips is just to enhance the facial expressions.
Yeah, because when you move your eyebrows and the contrast is so high on something like when you're doing white face, or even with the spine, it's pretty much the same thing. Like the eyebrows are standing out a lot more than say something that has more texture around it and whatnot. So
yeah, patchworks I think is probably the most complicated makeup. But you seem to be following the muscular structure, so when it moves, it looks pretty decent. But it's a very challenging makeup.
Well, you can tell when my mouth is open, because I have the mustache just hides it, and then it's like, whoa, where'd that mouth come from? I usually do cross-eyed a lot, just to distract from whatever. So people will try to meet the eyes. It's kind of like a play on dead eyes. It's like clearly they're not working right.
So I guess something we should touch on is, there's so many different ways to change the movement up. All three of us do it differently, and it's basically what we're comfortable with. I know I've fallen into habits with the spine. It's almost like he has to constantly rebalance himself with his legs and stuff, and I think a lot of that has to do with being stuck behind an instrument. I can't really use my upper body as much, so I try to do...
You want to demonstrate that?
Oh boy, okay.
So let's see. I don't know what the rabbit does, but when the spine's like, he's just constantly, like, legs are, I don't know, what is it, like he has to pee all the time or something?
I think it's the wedgie dance.
I don't know, it's more, I always do the, like, swaying, like, there's momentum and now it has to stop, and all the parts have to kind of wait for it to, it's like it's great because it plays into the stiffness of the character, you're really playing up, like, the specific joints, right? Yeah, I don't really try to do solid, like he doesn't have much weight to him. Maybe it's a little more sleek or something, so maybe he weighs a little less than the fat robots.
It's a pH fat.
Like, she's really heavy, like, because like the parts would be, she's in the Victorian era, it's like nothing but iron, so there's like a weight when she walks. Yeah, that's what I mean. So yours is a little more sleeker, and whereas mine's more clunky, kind of. When that movement happens, it's almost like it's not going to move the legs because they're so heavy. I don't know. So mine's a little more basic. I focus a lot more on ticks, just planting little things that that don't actually exist, like stuttering. I don't really stutter to the point where, you know, it's funny, so I have to insert stutters into the speech of Rabbit, or little ticks, or sometimes I just start twitching out, and then you just play it off like, the robot didn't even know what was happening. It's just a little bug. So Rabbit's definitely more kind of that's kind of the gimmick, is twitching out. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different, I mean, we've obviously haven't explored so many different ideas of what a robot character could do and what their little idiosyncrasies could be, but I think with just the three of us, we do vastly different stuff. And the same thing was true with John and when Upgrade was in the group and stuff. Like, we all kind of did stuff that made sense to us, and I don't know, maybe it came a little more natural, but it's all based on what we were doing in the group, I think. Since we've never actually made a robot just to go and do a Steam Powered Giraffe concert and stuff, it's a little unexplored territory for like fans who want to make a robot, because a lot of your time is probably going to be spent, you know, practicing the movements and stuff, or maybe walking around conventions and whatnot. And we don't actually do that much, because we would tire ourselves out and then we couldn't play the show or something. But we have done it before, like Roman Entertainment, and it's pretty interesting. Walking is definitely the hardest part. Selling that is exhausting. We used to do the Delaware Fair, and we would roam, and I don't even know, like, because now I try to throw away walking as much as possible, because you can't. It's really hard to sell. I've seen some people, you know, like on YouTube, who are really good at it, but it looks exhausting. Yeah, I think walking is a tough one. I mean, I remember John. He shuffled a lot and stuff. Yeah, it's almost like, you know, like maybe there's wheels or something on the bottom of the street. Like you've seen toys and stuff do that. And it's less about doing something that's complicated and hard to pull off, and more do something that just doesn't look like how people walk, you know. And so I think it's fine. Maybe we should come. Yeah, I don't know. So it's more like, you know, just more exaggerated movements where it's not really hard to do or anything. It just kind of looks different, you know. And, you know, just walking, which I don't really know how to do anyway. So it's a little bouncy kind of thing. I always think about dinosaurs when I'm doing it. Honestly, similar to yours, because I have the same body type, but I just kind of. Plus, you just gotta not give a shit, because you're gonna. You're just gonna say, yeah, cool. That's walking. How do you walk? See those fancy toe shoes you got on?
I don't really have anything. I don't know what I do. I guess I just try to, well, when I'm standing, I try to be bow-legged, because that's not what anyone else does, really, the Mary Poppins thing, and I just kind of bounce up and down. Because, and I have, my back is okay, so I can do this. I do the basic robot. I don't know.
Yeah, well, there's so many.
It's easier when you're in the costume and the makeup.
It's definitely being just like doing a character for like maybe a play or something. A lot of people will tell you that once they have the costume on, that's when it clicks for them, which is easy. It's definitely helps get you in the mood, because when you have a costume on, you don't feel relaxed. You feel like, I'm in a costume. This is kind of constricting in some places, and I don't normally wear this when I'm lounging around the house. But you know, if you can do it in your normal clothes, then you can totally do it when you're in a costume that's enhancing everything.
I almost kind of have to, I don't know, I'm used to, as a performer, when I did my own stuff, I loved being fluid and just like, you know, I can't do an impression because it gets caught up in the moment, but it was very hard for me to transition, and it still is, to do the robot, to the pop and lock thing, because your body is just, it's always moving, you know, unless you're sleeping or dead. Like, I'm performing, which is something that I like to do and I like to enjoy, but now it's like, I have to find the joy, I have to find it, you know, still trying to find it, you know, the robot and the basses and the singing, and it's...
No, I mean, the difference is, I mean, we started out together, you know, Bunny, John and I, and Aaron, and then we've had so many years to do it, and you've only been in it for a little more than a year, and so it was baptism by fire for Sam, where Bunny kind of had a lot more time to
In that respect, we were able to, you know, give a couple pointers and hints, kind of what works. And
Oh yeah,
Sam
it's all
obviously is,
Powered Giraffe for me, so that's all it is.
you seem to have really like absorbed and watched the videos to kind of get what you needed to do really, really fast. Like,
Well, I had to stare at your guys' butts for a long time. So, trust me, if you see from behind the show, you know I got the robot down. But
oh yeah, Sam was our drummer before we asked him to become a robot. Actually, I don't know if that's how it happened, but did you ask? I think you asked us. We asked him. We asked him to be a drummer for a big show, and he said no. And then we asked him again, and he said yes. So we caved, and then.
the one caveat is I don't want to be an effing robot.
And then I told him, hey Sam, here's a sketch of you as a robot. And then he said,
Now I'm a reindeer.
I'm a robot now.
Oh yeah, robot.
Yeah, well, we need to find someone to you know, fill the third robot stuff. You know, so you basically saw what we did, and you're like, I can do this. And,
Yeah.
and you could. So yeah. I think we've been spoiled with Sam because like we always thought he was hilarious, and like I always thought he'd make a good robot. You know, he's an entertainer. You know, so I always thought he'd make a good robot compared to a human. It's really true. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that we have the chemistry because it's been. Okay, it's been an hour. Okay. Well, it's been great to get some fresh energy, especially someone that's just from a different perspective. You know, he doesn't have all the years of the bull that we had to go through. I mean, definitely we learned a lot, but you know, it was a harder path to forge the act out of nothing. Whereas you can come in and bring, you know, from a perspective that's a little different than ours.
Well, and I mean, sure that fan bots and anyone who's put on costume, anyone who's cosplayed can tell you have to let go of a little bit of yourself and have a little bit of performer because you're looking like that. You don't look normal. You can stand out. You look like kind of a fool in some people's eyes, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with being kind of like a fool in some way. It's kind of the jester syndrome. So.
But luckily, when you're a character, I mean, most people don't cosplay as themselves, so it's actually most people expect that you're not going to be, you know, you're shy to yourself, that you're actually going all out. Which, you know.